Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. In today's video, I'm continuing my list of ranking every single MCU movie from Iron Man to Avengers Endgame, all 22 movies. I am now down to number 7 through number 4 on my list, so I'll cover those here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well here on a Wednesday early evening here in my state of Kansas. And continuing my ranking of the MCU movies, doing 7 through number 4. So then next week I'll do 3 to 1. So I have one more video and then I'll have the rankings of all 22 movies. I appreciate everybody that's watched the videos and commented. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for some of my picks, but that's always every list. I feel like there's no list where everybody agrees on. So it's always interesting to go through these and see what people think. So going through my list, number 7 on my list is Guardians of the Galaxy. Came out in 2014. This was kind of like a surprise, huge hit in theaters, and for me, it was just a real surprise. I knew nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy. I never heard of that as a comic. I guess it was a comic. I'm not really into comics. I know a little bit, but don't really read them. So this one came out left field. It's a very strange kind of comic superhero comic book characters. It takes place more in outer space, and these kind of interesting characters like Groot, who's a tree that can only say Groot. I am Groot. The only words he can say. Rocket, who's like this raccoon that can talk like a human. And then you got all kinds of aliens that are green or blue, and it's interesting combination of characters. And man, this movie really works. I think what works the best is the comedy. Like I think before my other list, I loved. A lot of people don't like the comedy in MCU. Like I love when an MCU movie is very funny. The comedy works, it makes it even better, I think, as long as with the action and everything. Like I would even say Guardians of the Galaxy storyline is not the best, not my favorite storyline, or not my favorite villain overall. But it works because of the characters and their chemistry and how they all work together and are very funny. Kind of a big surprise to me is Batista as Drax, because I know I'm a big wrestling fan. So I followed Dave Batista in his wrestling career, and he's a really good wrestler. Of course, one of the most huge jacked wrestlers I've seen. And so it's fun seeing him here and see him really do a good job with this character and how he can bring comedy into a kind of serious character. And a really good look for him that he's done, all these Guardians, and he's done other movies. So it's really helped his career, I think. Become somewhat of a go-to big guy. Kind of like The Rock in movies. Not quite the level of The Rock, but still doing pretty good there. Also, Chris Pratt was great. I love seeing him here. I was a huge fan of Parks and Recreation, and he's my favorite character on that show. He's absolutely hilarious as Andy, I believe his name is there. And so giving him the lead, it was like, yes, finally. Like I always thought this guy is like a star in the making. He just needs the right project. And so it was so great seeing Chris Pratt get this character, totally nail it. Knocked out of the park. He's hilarious. He also, got in really good shape, so he looks great. Costumings, of course, look great in this movie. The makeup work is really great. I love all the different, I love the whole color schemes of the different blues and greens and type of aliens, oranges, and all that. I really enjoy all that and the whole, structure of the movie, and the, different places that they go to. And we do get a lot about the Infinity Stone. So this is kind of the movie that really introduced us to the whole Infinity Stones, which is an important plot point for the rest of the series. And we also see a little bit of Thanos kind of teased here, who would be the major bad guy in the movie. But yeah, overall, it's one of the funniest movies. James Gunn does an absolutely amazing job here. And like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 just barely missed my top 10. This is number 7. Anticipating the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because if James Gunn can nail those two things, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be up there as one of the best superhero franchises we've ever had. So I'm really looking forward to those. Hope those can keep up with what's been going on. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy at number 7 here for me. Number 6 is another kind of, like I said, movie I love because of the comedy, and that is Thor Ragnarok. The third Thor movie, which you can see in my other list, Thor 2 was my least favorite, number 22. Thor was a little bit better, number 14. Still not great. So this was a character I thought, I don't know, it's like my least favorite character of the major Avengers, the original Avengers. And I don't know, something about him being this like overly powered, like lightning god kind of thing, mythical kind of, that I don't know, I'm not as interested in those kind of characters because it just seemed too powerful. And yeah, and Chris Hemsworth done fine with the job. And in fact, I thought he did really good in Avengers. So I was like, I like Thor when he's with other characters. I think he does very well, but I wasn't sure about it on his own. So this one really surprised me. And every time I watch it, I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan. I think the criticism is that it's too funny or it's too jokey. They definitely go more for jokes in this one, and that's why this one works better, I think, than the other Thor movies. Is the comedy works so well, and Chris Hemsworth is surprisingly like really really good at comedy. Besides being this huge 6'5" jacked guy, Australian guy, and of course it's Taika Waititi, kind of first major movie he's taken over, biggest budget he's taken, and it's kind of interesting to see someone who's really a comedy director like Taika Waititi come into this action, superhero, big budget, big special effects, movie and totally just killed it, and became a really huge hit. And it's kind of made him a big director, I feel like. This really, purported him to be one of the top directors of today, I believe. And he's doing so many projects as far as writing and directing. Of course, we all know he did Thor, Love and Thunder, which was a huge bomb kind of movie and really was like terrible and really kind of made you rethink the whole idea of making the Thor character so funny. I don't know why. It works in this movie, doesn't work Love and Thunder. I don't know, same director, same writer, same actors, it seems like. I don't know why, it just doesn't work the fourth one. But this one, definitely, I absolutely love it. From the very beginning, when you get introduced, they introduce kind of this comical effect of him in that cage and talking to this skeleton. And then it goes from there. And I absolutely love Jeff Goldblum. One of my favorite characters, the whole thing. I forget what they call him, but he's kind of like the leader of this planet that has these gladiator battles. And Goldblum is so hilarious. Like, I love, in fact, my favorite part of the movie is that whole time that he's on this planet. I forget the name of it, and you meet Valkyrie, and then of course you meet the Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner comes in to play. Those scenes are so great. They're so fun. You also meet Korg. Korg was a great, kind of character that, kind of small character that comes in and provides some good scenes for Hemsworth to play off with. We get a new look. He gets like the haircut and eventually gets like the patch of the eye, which I kind of like the change in the character and all that. But yeah, I love those. That was actually, to me, the whole movie is way better when he's on that planet. When he gets off that planet, it's not as good or fun. Like, I don't really care about the Hela, Kate Blanchett characters, like whole storyline of being like this long lost sister who's taken over. Her character seems almost too powerful. Like, I get a little bored with bad guys that are just almost too good. And so, I don't know, I wasn't as crazy, though Kate Blanchett's an amazing actress, one of the best actresses today. But yeah, to me, that storyline I didn't care so much about, but I love Thor's storyline when he's there. And I love, of course, the gladiator scene with him and the Hulk comes out. And it's the first time we've seen him since like Civil War, I think, or Age of Ultron, I mean. Yeah, it's the first time we've seen him since like Age of Ultron. And he comes out, and it's such a great moment of like, oh, we know each other from work, he says to Goldblum. And that's a really great fight sequence between them two. And the music's so good. Of course, they bring in some it's a Black Sabbath or something in, I think, at one point. And he's, I love when he's full of electricity and he like hits the ground and it explodes. One of my favorite scenes is that big monster kind of gets, I forget his name, he looks kind of like the devil, his kind of devil horns or something, and he's going to destroy the city, what's it called, and Asgard, and so they decide that that's the good thing to do, let him destroy Asgard, and that's how you defeat Hela. And the Incredible Hulk, of course, sees the big monster and goes and fights the monster, and Thor's telling him, no, stop, and Hulk says, oh, big monster. And I always love that scene. But yeah, so great. So many great scenes in that. Totally works. I don't know if they should do any more Thor movies though, because the last one didn't work so well. So it almost seems like this was like lightning in a bottle. Like one time it worked. I don't know if we can work it again. But man, I really love Thor Ragnarok here at number 6 on my list. Number 5, maybe my favorite character, second favorite character, probably the whole franchise or the whole MCU, is Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the second Captain America movie, kind of first one after Avengers. This was, to me, like a game. It came out the same year as Guardians of the Galaxy, which is absolutely crazy, 2014. I mean, that was an absolutely amazing year for superhero movies, because I was like, man, these are two of the best I've seen. I've never seen both of them in theaters. I saw this one 2 times in the theater because I loved it so much the first time. I told my dad, like, you gotta go see this movie. It's like one of the best superhero action movies I've ever seen. Yeah, like I said, it's a real game changer, the whole thing, because the first Captain America, as if you see my list, the first Avengers, number 18 on my list, is very low. I thought it was very boring, not that exciting. This one, man, is so exciting. Action scenes are so well. They get new directors. I think the Russo brothers, who would go on to do Civil War and the last two Avenger movies. So they did a really good job with the series once they took over. And I don't know, they just came in. They just knew what to do. Like I said, all the action sequences, even from the very beginning, like everything is done so well, well choreographed. It also has a really nice emotional storyline with Steve Rogers and Bucky, who becomes the Winter Soldier. And Winter Soldier is like maybe my favorite like bad guy henchman, even though he's not really a bad guy anymore. But at the time, when you watch the movie, he's kind of like this henchman. I mean, he has such a great look. Of course, I love the metal arm; looks great. But even the black long hair and the mask that he wears and the black outfit, and he just looks so cool. Like they did a real good job shooting him in scenes at the beginning and just looking cool as he's shooting people and stuff. Favorite scenes, that fight scene between Captain America and Winter Soldier in the highway overpass, whatever, and there's like a school bus and they're going back and forth, and Winter Soldier like pulls out a knife and he's like, you know, flipping it around like and attacking him, and like, man, that was so well choreographed. I remember seeing that in the movie theater and just like totally blown away by the choreography on that and how hard it must have been to shoot those scenes. But I thought they were so well done. And it does have a little bit of humor in there. I think I like the, you know, Captain America and Black Widow working together. I thought they made a really great team throughout the movie. Love seeing them together more. Almost thought they would be like a romance, you know, there between the two. I thought they would work well as a romantic couple. So I was kind of surprised when she went off with Bruce Banner. I thought, why not go with that? Go with Captain America. He seems like a better choice. But yeah, I love them two together. A lot of good humor back and forth, a lot of good chemistry between those two characters, I thought, in the movie. And there's a really good mystery. Like it's a movie with good action, some comedy, really good mystery of like who's behind everything, and it totally changes everything from then on. The Shield basically almost ceases to exist after this movie, because we kind of find out that Hydra is kind of behind everything, and so that really changed everything. That was kind of a big shocker at the time. We also get introduced to what's his name? Falcon, and who's a great character. And again, they're great together. And Anthony Mackie has a good comic timing, and I like his character coming in. He's been great throughout the series. So they added some really good characters in this movie, some really important ones. And again, very good emotional storyline, especially the end, where they're fighting. Winter Soldier and Captain America are fighting on top of that helicarrier or whatever. Really good sequences there, and you know, and it's great seeing what happens to Bucky and Winter Soldier after this movie. Also love I have to mention the elevator scene. Of course, is always one of my favorites, where he's surrounded by all these goons in an glass elevator, and does anybody want to get off before we start? And then they go into, you know, just so many great scenes after great scenes. Yeah, it definitely is a top 5 movie for me in the MCU. So that's Captain America: Winter Soldier at number 5. Last movie I'll talk about, number 4, is going to be a real surprise, and people are going to be mad that I have it here. But last time I watched it, every time I watch it, I just love this movie more and more. And last time I watched it, I was just like, man, I really like this movie. And that is Avengers: Age of Ultron, the second Avengers movie, which got a lot of flack, and it still does. Like, in fact, I know I've already seen people's lists, and they have Avengers: Age of Ultron really low on their list. I have it way higher than anybody else. I know that. And I don't know why people don't like this so much. It's like kind of like the Avengers. I mean, it's again same director here. Uh, this is too small for me to see. Joss Whedon, who's kind of gone off to be kind of a bad person, but still, he directed two good Avenger movies, I think. And I don't know, this one gets a lot of flack. I don't know exactly what the problem is. Like, it still has some great action sequences, still has the good humor in it. Maybe it's a little bit long. Maybe it adds too many characters throughout. Is the problem? Maybe people don't like the villain. But I disagree. I enjoy all of it. I thought James Spader as Ultron was great. He did great vocal work. I thought it was a really good villain, actually, one of my favorite villains in the MCU. And I thought his whole plan was a brilliant plan, like very unique and clever, to take like a whole city or whatever and lift it off the ground and then hit Earth like a meteor and destroy Earth like a meteor would. I thought that was like actually, I haven't seen that done before. So I actually enjoyed that. And I enjoyed that he has like all these, all these other bots that, this army of robots, whatever. So it makes for good action sequences because you're just killing robots, so you don't care. You can destroy them all you want. They're not people, so it makes for a good battle sequence when the Avengers go up against all these robots and against Ultron. In fact, I absolutely love that last scene where they have to protect the Ultron's trying to get to, I forget what it is, and they're trying to protect it, and they get into this battle sequence, and they do this sequence where like the camera it goes around the Avengers, and everybody's like in slow mo, and one of them does like a cool like twist flip in the middle of it, and they're hitting these robots, whatever, these Ultron robots, and man, I just absolutely love those kind of scenes. Like I love a good action sequence where it's slow motion, and I love people when they come together and they like use their powers together. Like when when Thor like hits Captain America's shield, and it makes this like blast that knocks people out. Like I love when they do that, or someone shoots against Captain America's shield and it bounces off, and they do a lot of these team ups. I really enjoy overall. Even the first scene in the movie I absolutely love, when they're going after this Hydra base, and Captain America's on a motorcycle, and he looks really cool, and then he gets off and he throws the motorcycle like a weapon, like, because he's so strong. And there's a cool, like kind of the first movie where like the camera follows one person as he fights, and then it goes off and follows another person. So it almost looks like one shot. Absolutely love those kind of sequences where it's like this one action shot where you're just going around seeing what each Avenger is doing. A lot of good stuff like that, I thought, throughout the movie. Also, one of my favorites is the when the Hulk kind of goes crazy because of what's her name, the Scarlet Witch or whatever, and he's not himself, and he's like he's going to destroy stuff, and so Iron Man has like this special suit in case Hulk goes crazy, the Hulk Buster, I think they call it. And so he gets into this huge, Iron Man suit, and they have this fight in the city. Like, absolutely love that. One of my favorite scenes in the movie. Great fight sequence and stuff like, he punches the Hulk, and the Hulk loses a tooth, but then he smiles like, that's the best you got. And Tony Stark's like, I'm sorry. And then he gets punched, and then another part, he's like trying to get him to knock him out so he'll stop destroying things. And so he's just punching him, going, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Like, those moments absolutely make me I just laugh so much during those scenes, and a lot of good destruction during the whole sequence. Anyway, so just saying, there's so many great scenes in this movie. Like, that's why I have it so far up. I think great villain, great plot. Love a lot of new characters. We get Vision. Like I said, we get the twins, whatever, it's a Quicksilver, who doesn't last very long, by Aaron Taylor Johnson. Then we get Olsen, plays the Scarlet Witch. Now I forget her name. I forget, but I call her Scarlet Witch, I guess, for now. But anyways, you get two important characters, three really important characters that play a big part later on in other movies. So it was a nice addition to it. Plus, we get to see what's his name, Andy Serkis' character, who is in Black Panther as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. It's maybe too long, I think, is the problem. And adding Vision, I think, maybe was like too much, I think, for a lot of people. But I don't know, overall, really fun movie. One of my favorite. I love the Avenger movies. You'll see the Avenger movies are my like favorite movies of the whole series. There's something about seeing like all these superheroes get together for a mission that, I don't know, I just really love seeing them all fight together. Anyway, so yeah, I love Age of Ultron. So that's number 4 on my list. So that's the end of my list for today. I'll do my top 3. And of course, if you've been paying attention, you'll kind of have an idea what my top 3 is, hopefully. Anyways, and I'll reveal that next week, and that'll be the end of this list. So, but thank you for everybody watching along and commenting. I love reading the comments on it and kind of going back and forth between everybody. I'm trying to defend my position on some of these, but yeah, thank you for liking this video, and just thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you guys